MyTV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Environmental and economic benefits of working with a local remanufactured ink cartridge retailer. To learn more, check them out at rockbottomink.com or give them a call at 260-748-0636. Now the Comets working the power play. Back to the point. Jess Coyle sets up shop as he comes across to Auger. He's manning the left point, comes back out quickly to Coyle. Coyle takes a look as Toledo is playing the box defense, too high, too low. Coyle looks for a seam. Again, now he gets the pass to Marino, comes across. Quick shot by Auger. Score, Comets! The Comets with a power play goal, a rock-bottom power play goal, and a great shot by Auger. And the Comets have tied the game just 48 seconds into period 2 as the K's get the equalizer on the rock-bottom power play. As great passing by the Comets, and Chris Auger picks up goal number 15 of the season at the 48-second mark. Great passing by the K's on the rock-bottom ink power play. So we're all even as they come back to center ice. It's drawn back to Toledo. We'll see who the assists are at the 48-second mark. Comets have tied the game. Quick shot that whistles over the top of the crossbar. Coyle and Marino pick up the assists on Auger's goal. We are even at 1. Puck centered in the slot, but too strong for Lynch. He chases into the corner. Now Embach is trying to take the puck away with help from Sidlowski. Embach works it ahead, but it's kept in the Comet zone. Good pressure that time by Oreskovic. 1-1 Comets on the power play. In the slot, quick shot. That just goes by the glove of Meisner. He holds his ground. Big battle in front. Meisner loses his mask. Now he lays on the back of it, and the whistle blows. Meisner taking a look and having a conversation with Frederick LeBlanc. So the Comets get the equalizer on the rock-bottom ink power play. 48 seconds into period number 2. Chris Auger, who has had a great season, picks up his 15th goal of the season. And the assists go to Brandon Marino and Jace Coyle. Face off in the Comet zone to the left of Meisner. Lynch on the draw with Kenton Miller. And Miller does a nifty job of drawing it back. Southhorn with speed tries to break it out. Crisp pass ahead on the back end to Miller. Miller tries to get it into the Toledo zone, but he's pinched off the play. And here come the Walleye back the other way. Aaron Clark to the former Comet Stephon Thorne. He tries to center, nobody home. Chipped into the corner, though, that time by Toledo's Joe Gleason. Now Denis Pepin, bumped by Stephon Thorne, but the large Pepin able to put his body between Thorne and the puck. Racing in to keep the play in, though, is Joe Sova behind the net. Clark looking to center on the backhand. That goes through the feet of Sova, and racing out is Southhorn, but Sova dives. Keeping it alive, though, is Schrock ahead to Southhorn. Southhorn into the corner. He's beaten by Chartrain, and here come the Walleye. It's going to be a 2-on-1. Busting in, here comes Stephon Thorne. It's in his feet. He tries to center, and missing it was C.J. Chartrain. Now the Comets come back, 3-on-1. Here comes Coyle, fine rushing defenseman. Comes across, too strong, though, for Carter. Behind the net, it's Kenton Miller. He's bumped off the play that time by Sova. Now Coyle pinches in from his defensive spot. Comets can't keep it in. Comes back to center where Martini feeds ahead Auger. Auger cross-ice Marino. Marino takes a look. Quick snapshot. That whistles wide. Now the Walleye look to break out. Thorne can't get the pass ahead. Good defense by Martini. In with speed is Fleming. He leaves for Marino. Marino, the drive, and right on. Save that time by Carruth, and a little jostling in front of the Walleye net. Well, Scotty Fleming will never hesitate to poke his schnoz right in there. He was pushed out of there by C.J. Chartrain. So again, the Comets on the power play goal, the rock-bottom ink power play goal by Auger, tie it up. The assists, Marino and also Coyle. And speaking of assists, a proud representative of West Bend Mutual Insurance Company and proud Comet sponsor is Mac Gregory. Let Gregory and Associates assist you with your insurance needs, whether it be home and auto, life, or business insurance. Since 1933, a family business taking care of families and business. Puck goes the length of the rink where Hartman gives chase, and that'll be icing called against the Walleye. So the Comets, after spotting Toledo, the 1-0 lead after the opening 20 minutes, cash on the power play. Just 48 seconds into period 2, Auger ties it up. Embach on the draw against Louis-Marc Aubrey, and now Embach is chased out of the face-off circle. Nutkovich chips it off the boards. Willett, who uses that big body, quickly feeds Embach. His shot is deflected, goes just to the side of the net. Comets try to center that, winds up in the feet of Nicastro. Now Nicastro feathers it ahead, trying to bunch it along the boards as Hirschfeld. He's rubbed off by Hartman. Oh, stepping into Nutkovich that time was Marc-Louis Aubrey, and now comes back to the point. Cross ice. Niedermal flips it. Screen set up in front. That just whistles by. Meisner now another drive from the point, that time by Max Nicastro. That goes wide. Comets try to flip it ahead. Pinched off at center ice by Nicastro. That's dumped back into the K zone. Toledo going for a change, trying to break out his Hartman ahead to Willett. Willett came over with Carter in the trade for Mike Vascovu and also Nick Pokoluk. Now here comes Emerson Clark. He's going 1-on-2. Now Aaron Clark rushes in. Oh, that time hitting the boards heavily was Emerson Clark as he lost an edge. They play on. Rock at the point. Comes cross ice. Big drive that time, and that whistles wide by Gleason. Comets try to clear but can't. You can tell Emerson Clark is a little bit woozy as he was racing in, lost an edge, and hit the boards heavily. Gleason tries to flip it in the Comet zone, gloved down that time by Martini. Again, a lot of play at neutral ice. Now here comes Thorne. Drop pass left on the backhand for Clark. His shot goes wide. Now the K's look to break out with numbers. That's just chipped in by Embach. The Comets will go for a change. Racing in is Jace Coyle, the fine rushing defenseman. He centers, and that time Kent Miller can't finish. Diving after the biscuit that time is Carruth, and Thorne and Schrock, the former Comet teammates, exchange pleasantries right at the side of the goal. And now Thorne and Schrock, who frankly are good friends, probably except for the next 35 minutes, talking things over. Shots are now even at 15-15. We've played just about 5 minutes of period 2. Glad you could join us for Comet Hockey on the road. My Comets on my TV. Denis Pepin puts the...
When everything falls apart,
No guts, no glory.
this team comes together.
Looked like Gilbert got a stride ahead of the captain, Kyle Rogers. And the face-off will come outside of the Comet zone. Comets will go for a line change, as will the Walleye, with 14:48 to go in a 1-1 hockey game. Again, this is the Comets' first appearance here in Toledo this season. Took to the 2014 part of the schedule for the K's to find the new Huntington Center, the relatively new Huntington Center. This is its 5th year. Now a race on between Fleming and David Gilbert. Gilbert wins the race. He breaks it out. Oh, big check that time by Southorn as he takes his man off the puck, and that results in a Walleye offside. Good play by Southorn to step right into Travis Novak, and that created the offside. Comets now have a 16-15 shot advantage. 14.5 minutes to go in period 2. This is the first of 3 games in 3 nights for the Comets. They go to Kalamazoo tomorrow, and then the K-Wings visit the Coliseum on Sunday for a 5:05 face-off. As that time, Louis-Marc Aubrey was tossed out of the face-off circle. A shot right on as that was flipped in by Nicastro. It was gloved by Meisner. Busting in on the play was Hirschfeld, and he was shoved out of the way by Simone Denis Pepin. I've had the chance to get to know Simone a little bit, seeing him around town, and just an outstanding guy, and he loves being a Fort Wayne Comet. Now Aubrey on the draw with Fleming as the Comets have the number 1 line out of Fleming, Auger, and Marino. A little late in dropping the puck. Southhorn controls, spins behind his own goal. Little stick handling, now comes cross ice to Marino. He tries to feed it ahead. Onside is Fleming. He looks, shoots. Oh, blocker save that time. Lower to the stick side, just steered aside by Carruth. Now the walleye, flipping it in is Lynch. As he tries to win the race to the puck, he does. Behind the net, Aubrey tries to center. He's bumped off by Denis Pepin. Aubrey still controls, looks for a center, fanned on that time by Hirschfeld, and he puts the stick up high in the chin of Southhorn. Now stepped into his Southhorn by Aubrey. Looks like Aubrey has a problem with the skate as he's looking to go off, and Toledo's still offside. Aubrey gets to the bench. Looks like Louis-Marc Aubrey has either a problem with his skate or with his ankle. We have a timeout here at the Huntington Center in Toledo. 13:44 to go in the second period. A 1-1 game between the Comets and the Walleye. You're watching My Comets on My TV. Well, coming out of the break, right at center ice off the face-off, Comet captain Kaylee Schrock squared off with Emerson Clark, the self-appointed tough guy of the Walleye, and looked like they squared off to pretty much a draw. Both players got some shots in, and Clark trying to get the fans here in Toledo all revved up. You could see that one coming as they came to center ice off of the timeout. Schrock and Clark looked at each other, sized each other up, and said, okay, let's go. So they dropped the gloves, the helmets, and everything. And I think Schrock will be going to the Comet locker room for some repairs. Maybe got a little bit of a cut. So that should be 5 for fighting, the old coincidental majors for each. That coming at the 6:19 mark. Now, we talked about how the intensity was picking up here early in period number 2 with the Comets getting the equalizer on the Rock Bottom Inc. power play, 48 seconds in, and the goal by Chris Auger. So now even Steven, and both players serving 5 for fighting, Schrock and Emerson Clark at the 6:19 mark. And here come the Walleye on the attack. Aaron Clark leaves for the captain, Kyle Rogers. Gleason, a drive from the point. That whistles wide. Now again, the Walleye trying to get a little steam off of that fight. Centered in front, but knocked down with the quick feet of Nutkovich. Now he circles behind his own goal and starts the breakout. Great pass ahead to Mbach. Comets trying to come in with numbers. Mbach with a quick snapshot, but that goes off the skate of Oreskovic and goes into the netting. So that'll mean a face-off in the Toledo zone. The Comets will be playing an awful lot of hockey games against their North Division rivals. Starting tonight, Cincinnati leading the way with 42 points, Evansville with 40, Kalamazoo with 37, the Comets with 33, and then Toledo with 23. Now Auger, a nifty move, quickly behind the net. Marino tries to fire short side. Smothering it that time was the goaltender Carruth, as boy, it looked like Fleming was just leveled on a cross-check by C.J. Chartrain. No call. So the face-off will come to the left of the Walleye goaltender, Matt Carruth. Talked about it in the pregame show, how this has been, some would say, a challenging season, others a bizarre season in the 62-year history of the Comets, with all of the personnel changes. When you think of what started the first week of October in training camp and where we are now, the first week of January, where we talk about the fact that the Comets made 9 trades in 8 weeks. Now racing down the wing and trying to bust it in is Travis Novak. Along the boards, pinched in by Sova. Crafty little shot, and that went through his screen, but blocking it away was Meisner. Meisner has been doing very, very well with both of his gloves, his blocker and his catching hand. And again, Toledo continues to pinch along the near boards, trying to put pressure on the Comets. Comes back to the point. That's just chipped right back in by Nicastro. A drive from the point, a knuckleball is not much wood on it by Sova. Kays try to chip it out, and that time Marino gets the job done, but collected by Nicastro. He fires off the boards, cross ice pass, no one home as Hirschfield not quite up with the play. Toledo makes a change. Comets trying to catch them in the change. Here comes Auger. Spins around, loses his defender, dumps it behind the net. Hustling in is Kenton Miller. He slips the check of Sova. Now Miller, high boards for Willett. Willett using that big body, but he's taken off the play. And the puck is moved ahead by Aubrey. Oh, the shot is centered, and that time Willett almost redirected. Carter working deep in the corner that time as he rubs away with Rogers. Comets, great pressure in the Toledo zone. Now it's finally cleared. A little too strong. Martini drives and fires the puck ahead. That time Coyle pays the price but moves it on. Now Carter with a backhander, and it is smothered that time. Again, tempers flaring a little bit. Anybody that approaches the goal, as Carter was just pulling up, and he took a shot that time from the captain, Kyle Rogers. So now both teams are trying to establish their turf, so to speak. 11:14 to go in period 2. We are tied at 1. Toledo a goal in the opening period. David Gilbert his 8th. The Comets a power play goal in the first 48 seconds of period 2. Auger his 15th. Now trying to race out of his zone with speed was Chartrain, but he was cut off and leveled that time by Sean Sidlowski. Sidlowski with a bad angle shot, and again, that's blocked away by Carruth and up into the netting, so that'll result in a face-off. Looks like Toledo's going to make a line change. Here comes the former Comet Stefan Thorne along with Aaron Clark and Alden Hirschfield. Embach on the draw against Aaron Clark, recently acquired by Toledo in a trade with Kalamazoo. Initially, the K-Wings were going to send Clark to San Francisco. He said, no thank you. None of that West Coast for me. I want to stay in the Midwest and around the East area. So they ended up trading him to division rival Toledo for Ryan Flanagan. Boy, that time just leveled on the play was Sidlowski, and there was no call. And the Walleye just fire at the length of the rink for the icing. And now Sidlowski is checking a blade to make sure he didn't lose an edge. Well, there's nothing quite like it when you're a little bit off balance and then somebody steps into you and you hit the ice heavily. And so Sidlowski, I think a combination of being off balance and wondering if he did lose a bit of an edge. Now off the draw as big Richard Niedermal tries to control. It's flipped into neutral ice. Backing up is Coyle. Coyle fires ahead off the boards. Here comes Fleming. Briefly in the feet of Marino. Now it's dumped in the corner. Carruth controls, and he flips it ahead. A little too strong. That would be an ice, but it won't quite get to the line, so Martini has it for the Comets. Oh, a short pass intended for Coyle. Clark intercepts. Can't quite center. That's deflected. But Niedermal fires from the point. Steered away that time by Meisner. Thorne flips the rebound to Clark. Right in front, and that time Hirschfeld not able to finish. Back to the point it comes. That's wrapped around by Rock. Now Hirschfeld, who's really made his presence felt in this game. Comets can't clear. Martini doesn't get a lot of wood on it. Now Martini has it again. And just backhands it ahead. Fleming trying to run it down. He is picked off that time by Gleason. Rock behind his own net. Wraps it around the boards. Southhorn trying to wait for his team to get offside. Just flips it in. It's batted down with the stick that time by Rock. Rock starts the rush. Little flutter shot. And it's batted down that time by Meisner. And again, this time, as Travis Novak gets a little too close for comfort, the Comets move him out. We have a timeout here in period 2 in the Huntington Center. 9:43 to go. We are even. The Comets won and the Walleye won. You're watching My Comets on My TV.
Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine. Now the Comets come in quickly. Willett tries to center the pass across.
Oh, it goes into the net. Miller tried to put it in. The puck was caroming around, and it ended up chipping over Carruth. Willett may have popped it in, and the Comets have taken a 2-1 lead. It goes to show you put the puck on goal, and good things can happen. And the Comets, with their second goal of the period, have taken the 2-1 lead. This comes at the 10:41 mark. And we'll see if they give the go to Willett. And if it goes to Christian Willett, it would be his second goal in as many games. Now, Nutkovich on the draw with Aubrey. Controlled by the walleye. Niedermal comes across to Oreskovic. Now Hirschfield tries to get it in the zone, winds back up at neutral ice. It was Willett from Kenton Miller and Southhorn, and Willett's fifth of the season, second as a Comet. And the Comets take a 2-1 lead, and again, for more than 6 decades, Gregory Associates has been Fort Wayne's insurance leader, whether it's auto, home, or any combination you might require. Gregory Associates, the clear choice to meet all of your protection needs. Let Mac Gregory assist you in obtaining the best rates possible. Give them a call at 432-3695. So the Comets on the Willett goal with the Southhorn and Miller assist at the 10:41 mark have taken the 2-1 lead here in period 2. 8:42 to go, and the K's have now outshot the Walleye 21-17 in the game. Now the puck started bouncing around, and Willett started the play. Next thing you know, I think Carruth lost track of it, and it looked like it popped over and maybe rolled down his back. Hartman dumps it in, pays the price a bit as he's stepped into by Rogers. Now Embach, as he's bumped off the play heavily by Oreskovic. Stefan Thorne dumps it in, giving chase as Hartman. Right on his back is Rogers. Now the K's look for the breakout. Sidlowski with the touch pass goes right back to Embach. He pinches along the boards. The K's keep it deep in the Toledo zone. Racing in on the play is Sean Sidlowski. He looks to center. Nobody there, but now it's Auger gathering deep in the corner. Racing in is Fleming. Briefly popped off the play, but he gets it to Coyle. Quick shot is right on and steered aside by Carruth. Oh, a little backhand centering pass by Fleming. That gets through, but nobody is there. Coyle again dumps it in. He's stepped into by Thorne, and here comes Rogers back the other way. Quick shot right on. Save Ben Meisner. A crafty little shot by Rogers at the end of his shift. And again, Ben Meisner has really stood tall so far for the Comets in this one. If you just might be tuning in, Toledo took the early lead in this one on a goal by David Gilbert at the 5:43 mark of the first period. The K's tied it 48 seconds into period 2. Chris Auger picked up goal number 15 on the Rock Bottom Inc. power play, and then Christian Willett scored his second goal in a Comet in as many games at the 10:41 mark. Comets on top 2-1. Now the K's trying to get that Toledo pressure out of their end, and the Comets continue to work hard, but Hirschfield has had a big game so far from the walleye. Nicastro doesn't get very much lumber on it. The reason is he broke his stick in half. Comets have a chance with numbers as Nicastro was looking for a new stick. Marino glides in. Back to Denis Pepin at the point. He loads it up. A low shot just caroms wide. Marino on the doorstep. Now it's a centering pass by Fleming to Auger, who can't quite poke it home. Oh, that looked like a cross-check from behind that time by Sova, as going heavily into the boards with Fleming. That looks like it'll be cleared the zone, but not strong enough to be an icing. So Southhorn starts the breakout. Marino goes off the back of the shaft of his stick, and racing in, back the other way, here comes Rogers. Rogers' shot is chipped off the stick of a Comet. That goes into the netting, and we'll have a face-off and a stoppage of play. 6:47 to go in period number 2. The Comets lead Toledo 2-1. You're watching My Comets on My TV.
Comets Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Now Toledo working the puck in the Comet zone off the face-off. You have the Martini defensive unit out there, along with Coyle. The newcomers, Carter Willett out there, along with Kenton Miller. Now the Comets break it out. Willett tries to fire the shot. That goes off the shin guard that time of Phil Rock. And a whistle and a face-off in the Toledo zone. We are back at the Huntington Center. You are watching the Comets and the Toledo Walleye. 6:19 to go in period 2. The Comets on top 2-1. The Comets have outshot the Walleye 22-18. And we are brought to you in part by Parkview Sports Medicine, offering a continuum of care approach for athletes, providing training, treatment, and education for sports enthusiasts at all levels. The programs serve athletes of all ages, providing opportunities to those just beginning their athletic careers, to those who just enjoy staying active and are looking to maintain certain aspects of their competitive edge. Parkview Sports Medicine. Off the draw, it comes back to Hartman. Joe Hartman, who has been a much improved player for the Comets. He's hit heavily by Emerson Clark. And a quick shot on by Auger. That stopped. The puck sits in the crease, and it's flipped high and out of the zone by Toledo. The K's bidding to take a 2-goal lead just came up short. Now Hartman takes a look. Well, he surveys the landscape, can't find a teammate, so he'll just start to break it out. Emerson Clark out with Aaron Clark, a long pass to center ice, and Fleming will just fire it deep into the Toledo zone. Marino, as he loses an edge, goes heavily into the boards. C.J. Chartrain starts the breakout for the Walleye. Now here comes Thorne. Leaves, quick shot right on that time, fired into the belly by Richard Niedemall, and Meisner again doing the great job. And the contentiousness between the Walleye and the Comets continues to build here in period 2. And Southhorn is talking to referee Frederick LeBlanc and says, hey, look, how much more are you going to let these guys start pounding the crease? And I'll tell you what, the Comets maybe should be a little testy about that, because it was a collision with a Kalamazoo player that took Andrei Makarov out of the game Wednesday night. Still a point of contention whether or not the Kalamazoo player just ripped into Makarov or if it was a collision with the Comet player that sent him into the crease. But first and foremost, you have to protect your goaltender, especially when the opposition is getting a little too cozy in the crease right in front. And an attempted backhander is steered away, as that time Nutkovich was bidding for the goal, but right there was Caruth. Again, the board play is picking up both ways. Now the Walleye looking to center, comes back to the point. Nicastro loses his balance, and now here comes Nutkovich back the other way with Sidlowski. Tries to come across Embach, leaves for breaking in. Denis Pepin comes right to the crease. Oh, and not being able to play it was Nutkovich. Big drive by Southhorn, and that's steered away. Comets trying to get the better of the play here in the final 5 minutes of period 2. Centering pass too strong for Embach. He still controls. He's bumped off the play that time by David Gilbert. Now back the other way. Denis Pepin comes cross ice with the backhander Southhorn. Ahead to Willett, who's had an impressive Comet debut. Just kind of skitters the puck through the legs of the defender Sova, and pouncing on the loose biscuit is the goaltender Matt Caruth. 4.5 minutes to play in period 2. 2-1 Comets, and they have outshot the Walleye now 24-19. In this period, the Comets have outshot Toledo 12-5. Off the draw, deep in the corner, Kenton Miller gives chase that time. Trying to race out of the puck was Louis-Marc Aubrey. He tries to get it between the legs of Martini. Does, and just chips a little backhander toward the goal. And you can tell that the strategy of Ben Meisner, anything close to the crease that he can smother, he'll do just that. Always important for goaltenders not to give up that big fat rebound, and Meisner's done a great job of standing his ground and doing just that, smothering the puck, creating face-offs. Face-offs so important, and that time Kenton Miller cleanly wins it from Louis-Marc Aubrey. Comets looking for a breakout. Carter just tried to deflect it ahead, but stepping into that passing lane. Gleason with a shot right on, and again, right into the belly pad of Meisner, who will collect another save. Well, don't forget again, it's a busy weekend for the Comets. They go to Kalamazoo tomorrow. K-Wings come to the Coliseum Sunday for a 5:05 face-off. And join Tommy Schegler Monday on Sound Off with the Comets. Defenseman Jordan Southhorn will be on the show, 7:30, live from Champions on 21 Alive. Now behind the net, Jeremy Gates, who, with Lacasse out of the lineup and Carter in, Gates, who's been playing a lot of forward the last few games, is back in a defensive position as he is paired with Hartman. Auger at the high wall keeps the puck in as he tries to rub away from his defender, Nicastro. Now again, here is Fleming. Fleming, a quick shot, and that's poked away. Boy, Fleming couldn't quite collect the puck totally so he could really snap the shot off. Cross-ice pass intended for Marino. That was briefly deflected by Aaron Clark. Now a cross-ice pass intercepted by Marino. Comets with numbers. Here's Marino. Tries to flip a shot in front. That deflects high into the corner. Hartman, who'd pinched in from his defensive point, is bumped off the play by Emerson Clark. Now it's Hartman giving the rough ride to the Toledo player, is just now getting up after that hit is Joe Sova. Ahead it goes Fleming. Leaves a little touch pass for Marino. Marino, top of the circle, spins around, loses Nicastro. Now Marino, deep in the corner. Nicastro tries to control the puck. The crafty Marino trying to poke it away. Fleming gets a stick on the puck. And that time, Stefan Thorne fires it into the bench. And I think both teams were looking for a shift change as they were running out of steam at the end of their shift. So the faceoff goes into the Toledo zone to the right of goaltender Matt Carruth. Both goalies have played well tonight. Comets have 25 shots. The Walleye have 21. 2-1 Fort Wayne, just under 3 minutes to go in period 2. Glad you could join us as we continue our package of Comet road games. On the draw as Gilbert and Nutkovich fight for it. Coming out of it, trying on the breakout that time is C.J. Chartrain. Cross-ice pass, Rogers. Now it's just flipped in off the backhander by Travis Novak. Rogers given the rough ride that time by Denis Pepin. Comets try to get it out of the zone. It pops out toward the middle, and the K's breaking out with numbers 3-on-2. Hustling back is Gilbert to get back in the play. A drive from the left wing, and that time Mbach bidding for the short side. That's steered away by Carruth up into the screen. And so we'll have another stoppage and another faceoff. Now the Comets are 7-6-0-1 on the road. They have been the better road team this year, had their struggles on home ice. 6-5-3-3, and just shoved from behind. Chartrain, again, that could have been a cross check as the shot from the point. That time, Cy Nukovich was trying for the deflection. He was shoved down not once but twice by Chartrain, and the teams again will change lines. But that Comet home record translates actually into 6-11. You've had a combined 6 losses, either in overtime or via the shootout. Overtime nor the shootout have been the Comets' friend this year, but the Comets have won 7 games on the road. And 2 of the 3 this weekend are on the road. The K's looking for a good start to the 3 games and 3 nights set if they can come away with a victory tonight in their first appearance here in Toledo. Now, chipped to center ice, and the Walleye, again, trying to run a neutral zone trap. The Comets just whack it in as Willette dumps it behind. Carruth fires the puck over to the left side to Rock. That'll go the length of the rink, and that should be an icing, and it is. Under 2 minutes to go, 1:54 here in period 2. Comets lead it 2-1. David Gilbert got the first goal tonight. That came in the first period to give the Walleye a 1-0 lead. Comets tied it 48 seconds into period 2, and Chris Auger picked up his 15th of the season on a rock-bottom ink power play. And then Christian Willette gave the Comets the lead with his second goal in as many games in a Fort Wayne uniform. Good cross-ice pass to Auger, tries to feed it ahead. Oh, just a little too strong for Fleming. Now Marino behind the net. There's going to be a penalty to Toledo. Auger behind to Marino. Marino tries to chase it down as Meisner heads to the Comet bench for the extra attacker. There's a shot that's caromed away by Coyle. Now behind the net, Mbach circles. Comets have the extra attacker on the ice. Here comes Coyle, top of the circle. In the slot, Auger can't quite get the handle on it. It'll be touched, and there will be a penalty coming to the Walleye. And this will come at the 18:42 mark, and it'll be a hooking penalty. And that will go to the defenseman of the Walleye, Phil Rock. So Rock for hooking at 18:42, and the Comets are on another Rock Bottom Inc. power play. They have one power play goal tonight. Looks like Sidlowski will be tossed out of the circle. Rock Bottom, the answer for consumers who consider the environmental and economic benefits of working with a local remanufactured ink cartridge retailer. To learn more, check them out at rockbottominc.com or give them a call at 260-748-0636. This would be a big power play for the K's to cash on in the final minute and change. Good job by Southhorn to keep it in with the skate. Then he chips it ahead. Now cycling near the top of the circle. Comes across. Oh, great centering attempt that time by Carter. A little too strong for Mbach. Sidlowski comes back. Southhorn comes over. Carter chips it back to Denis Pepin. Southhorn takes a look. Top of the circle. Now he'll back it up a little bit. Flip the shot on. A tip attempt that time by Mbach. And there'll be another penalty this time. And it's going to go to the Comets. Oh, my. They're going to call a trip on the Comets. As the goaltender, Carruth was breaking out. He handles the puck. Drive by Clark. Steered away that time by Meisner. Denis Pepin with the touch. And the Comets will be called for a trip. My goodness. And it'll go against Mbach. The trip coming at the 19:28 mark. So just when the Comets went on a Rock Bottom Inc. power play, the tripping penalty to Mbach with 32 seconds to go will even things up. And Toledo will have a power play of about a minute and a half into the third period. On the face-off in the Comet zone, it's controlled that time on a good job by Kenton Miller. Boy, Rogers steps heavily into Jace Coyle. Coyle's paid the price a number of times tonight to make some plays. Southhorn now coming in off the wing, looks to center, flips it back to the point to Coyle, keeps it alive with his feet. Tries to backhand it, though, deep into the corner, and it's intercepted. Back the other way comes Gilbert. He has the Toledo goal, and again a centering pass, steered away that time by Meisner, who had to be Johnny on the spot. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1 to go, and that should do it. Southhorn was going to load up a shot, but the buzzer sounds, and we have reached the end of 2 periods of play. Again, another great period of hockey. So we will have first break here in our second intermission. We'll come back and recap period 2, and then look ahead to period 3. So it's time for a break here. The Comets lead 2-1 after 2 periods of play. You're watching